daily-astrocat.com, and it's time for astrology. Are you ready? My name is Shane, and let's go. It's Wednesday, and the moon's going to enter Aries at 12:32 in the morning. Here, the moon finds Saturn and Neptune. There are chambers with many, many doors and passages. They were once hidden, now they are plainly obvious. Each door is a numbered portal. 6 points are illuminated, 3 above and 3 below. In the glow, we see other doors as well, next to them, right? It is from this room that we will be instructed during Mercury's retrograde. This is the Hall of Opportunity, and today's keyword is opportunity. Our color is a red sky at night. What's missing from the above story is the observer. That is the 0 point, the point of origin. In tarot, that is the number of the fool, 0. And it is the first step in a journey, in the journey. The sun in Cancer sees this and immediately recognizes the wisdom in the seemingly backwards direction. Is it a full circle or an ever-shifting spiral? All right, and let's keep on going. Aries is a bold sign. These are bold images. Questions are arising out of this, and these questions are going to be foundational as we head into greater spiritual enlightenment that this current lunar node is concerned with. The Pisces Virgo axis. Now, the material dissolves and we are left with light and motion. This change in thinking is inwardly directed and granular at best. Who are we really? There hasn't been a better time for us to ask that question. Don't lose sight of the 2 tracks. But wait, didn't we just add a third? All right, what I just gave you there is straight what came to me when I was writing about today, Wednesday. It's a very, very different kind of day, and it has a different feel to it. I purposely waited until after the moon entered Aries so I could do this at 12:32 in the morning here on the East Coast. And the reason for that is very, very simple. Aries is at that point where Saturn and Neptune are at. Saturn and Neptune are as close as they're going to get until February of next year. What do we get out of this? Well, we are redefining Saturn. We are seeing Saturn in a different light. We're seeing Saturn together with Neptune, not as they're backing through Aries, where they're going to be backtracking and then eventually meeting up. We're seeing that as a chance for us to redefine what Saturn is. For too long, I think that Saturn has been saddled with too many negative connotations. Now, the folks that are so adept at astrology and like to tell us all these things about ancient gods and stuff like that, always link Saturn with Kronos. Kronos is the Greek equivalent of the father of Zeus, right? So it'd be the father of Jupiter. The Roman cosmology was a little bit different because it took it from the Etruscan tradition. The Etruscans held that Saturn was a ruler of a golden age, and his brother was Janus. Janus is the god of portals. Last January, actually, matter of fact, almost every January, I come up with this synthesis idea of Janus and Saturn being kind of like merged archetypes. For too long, Saturn was the actual end of everything that we could see. It was the end of the universe. So that Reaper connotation made sense, right? Except this astrologer happens to be very strong 8th house, Pluto in the 1st house, and that 1st house happens to be in Virgo. So we're really looking at this, analyzing what it means, not only from a logical standpoint, but also from a spiritual standpoint. That's where Neptune comes in. That's where this whole Neptunian shift begins to happen, and we shift from a 3D, this is going to happen. Trust me, there's things that are already happening. I have things that are happening. You have things that are happening. Big changes, big personal change for me. But the thing is that there's even bigger changes that we're not quite sure of, right? Now, for your 3D things, the things that you're doing right here and now, your career things, this could very well be like a chrysalis period, right? We're just we back up with Mercury retrograde. We're going to take a step back in order so we can burst forward. That's where that transformation is going to take place during this retrograde period for Mercury. We're going to start doing that. We're in this whole period with Saturn and Neptune going backwards too, where we can redefine what Saturn actually is. It's a planet of limitations, it's a planet of portals, it's a planet of doors, it's a planet of opportunities. We can't get to Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Eris, any of the Oort cloud objects without passing through Saturn, because it's not the end. It's not. It's the beginning. So if Saturn, say for example, if we were to take and use that literal, right? Saturn is Kronos, Saturn is the Grim Reaper. So it doesn't end with that, does it? No, it goes beyond it. So we go beyond that, because the fact is that we go out from that in pretty much myriad directions. There's other dimensional opportunities there. What is to say that there's nothing beyond this plane, right? Stacked on top, maybe below, maybe to the side. I don't know. It's just conjecture. But that's what these times kind of bring out in me, as a chance to ask these questions. Take a look at these signs. Now, why Moon in Aries, Shane? Well, because the Moon in Aries is right where that point where Saturn and Neptune are together right now. And it's that 0 point, the world point. This is something that's at that crux of that mini grand trine between Pluto and Uranus, what's going to be for a couple of years, right? We're not stuck there. We want to be here. Okay, we want to be in that sextile between Pluto and Neptune and Uranus. We want to be in that outer planet, little leg of a cradle, perhaps, for lack of a better word, right? All you need is one planet to go beyond that, and another sextile in there, and you're going to see cradle patterns, right? Cradle patterns are patterns in a chart that hold us in a certain place. It's comforting, right? It's like a baby in a cradle, right? The way you figure out what the cradle is, opposite the cradle, is what it is that is looking over us, right? And think of it like almost like a parent or something like that. So the cradle protects us from the stuff on the bottom, right? Now the stuff on the bottom, it's the beginnings. It's the money part, the family. We're getting security from that, right? That is what's happening. We're changing, so we're going to be able to use creativity and everything like that to hold us. So as we move into what we're moving into next, we do it with a lot of confidence, and we do it with a lot of style, because we've changed this view of Saturn. Sure, we have to do the work. That work is there. That's not going to change. Saturn, that aspect of Saturn is not going to change. What is going to change is that it's something that can be. Just because you're working hard doesn't mean you can't care. Just because you're working hard, it doesn't mean you're not nurturing. Just because you're working hard, it doesn't mean that you don't deserve the good things. You do deserve the good things. You have to deserve the good things. This working hard is what we do to move beyond that point. Now that that's been said, and it may be enough, it may be not, we're going to add on to this story as we move along, because this is going to be very important. This is going to add to what we see as our Saturn, call it lore for lack of a better word, but it's our cosmology, and our cosmology is shifting, and that's okay, because the archetypes are meant to be shifting. Jung himself said that the archetypes change over time. They don't have to remain static and frozen in one era or one particular place. Modern Western astrology does the same thing. The archetypes shift and change. Pluto, no longer a planet. Did it diminish? Did it not diminish? The role is changing. It's not that it's neither nor or both. It's that the archetype can definitely change, and it changes for as we interpret more things, we can get better and honed into what our interpretations tend to be. And now I've spoken way too long, so let's do this. In 1969, Apollo 11 launches, carrying the first men to land on the moon. All right, and in 1952, we have a birth for you. Stuart Copeland, American drummer with an English band. Go figure, right? He was with the Police. You know the Police. They did Roxanne, right? He also is a film composer, film score composer, and an opera composer. He worked on Wall Street, Suburbia, and Electric Saint. He's born in Alexandria, Virginia. And that's what we got for you. Happy birthday, Stuart. Happy astrocatting to everybody. Look, let's do this. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for liking and doing the right things, right? This particular episode is going to be boosted just a little bit, only because I think it's very important. It's going to set the tone for some of the discussions that we're going to be having down the road. I apologize to you, Jerry, because you might have to go back and listen to it a couple of times, but this is the kind of things that started to drive the stories that you are interested in looking into. I still haven't had a chance to work on that, and with the changes at work and stuff like that, I think it may be a little bit difficult for me, but we'll see. I'm going to see if we can't fix some of that stuff this week. Color is red sky at night. Keyword is opportunity. Today is a 7. Happy astrocatting.